Hello and welcome to episode 10. Who would have thought we could last this long?
I didn't really think I could commit to doing something for this long, And we're just going to keep going and going. What? Who's texting you now?
This is my little brother. Anyway, welcome to episode 10 of Circle and Square podcast. We are currently looking for a producer.
Yeah.
Because how long it just took us to get all this set up tonight.
Yeah.
We would have made the Geek Squad very, very, very mad.
And also, I don't really know. So right now I'm trying to do video and audio together on this laptop. Who knows if that's going to work? So if some shit goes awry, I'm sorry. If my computer runs out of space or something, because it seems like it's been kind of low on the space thing. But how was your week today? How was your week this week, Blake?
It was a week. It's always the same. It's really the same. It's Easter. He is risen.
He is risen today.
God bless.
Yesterday I went and did family Easter, and my mom is from a farm in small town Nebraska, kind of 2.5 hours west of here. And I don't know, it's always fun to go to the farm because both my grandparents who lived on that farm, where my mom and her siblings grew up, both the grandparents died, but they still have the farm and house, and they still have the land and everything. And my three uncles, who are all kind of my three uncles, are they go around and mow everyone's yards, and they sort of have a mental disability. All three of them, they all still live there, and so we have to kind of take care of them and clean the house. And
have you ever heard of the thing where somebody tells you about their dreams? Nobody fucking cares. That's kind of what's happening here. Well, nobody cares about a farm.
Well, it's just talking about what I did. But anyway, so we went out there, and I did a bunch of stuff that I hadn't done at the farm before. We laid electric.
Did you have sex with a goat?
we laid electric fence for when one of my uncles
when one of your uncles gets loose.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's. Oh, and I found out that my friend Jay. I mean, this is so stupid. Who cares?
You already told me.
Yeah, but someone I know.
This is why we only
went
have
there.
13 listeners.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of like a Nebraska
Jay
thing
Olsen, too. Taurus, we get it. Anyway,
but
come on, fix the. I mean, we need a producer.
It's your splitter that's bad. I'm trying to go into my thing. Just the
more interesting thing that we can talk about is usually we start the show by what are we drinking. I'm drinking White Claws. Ben isn't drinking.
I'm not drinking
because he has his health issues just keep getting worse.
It is true, unfortunately. So hopefully we can ratify that soon. But what's really funny is Blake was the one whose idea it was for us. See, it was going to be us that were going to stop drinking.
I just lied to you for your own health.
And I actually sort of thought that's what Blake was doing, but oh my God, I'm going to go grab my phone because this is so funny.
I'm also not just a producer, but I'm looking for a new co-host for a podcast.
Unrelated to this one. Okay, I want to read you these texts that Blake sent me about.
Are they? Could I be arrested for any of these texts?
I don't think so.
Well, think about it hard before you read them, because it's.
Oh wait, you go. I'm doing no alcohol in April. Want to do it? I could use the help. That's what you said. This is on Wednesday. When was April? April 1st was Friday. Well, probably
Thursday, I think. No,
this was 2 days before.
Thursday. No, I texted you on the 31st.
Okay. So he says, I'm doing no alcohol in April. When I want to do it, I could use the help. And I said, I was already planning on doing it. So yes. And you go, only because I really will need help. If we can hang and do dinners and stuff. And I was like, yes. And you're like, perfect. I have to take a break. And then you said, we need to hold each other accountable. No, I said, oh yeah, we can still hang out at Oliver's and just drink soda water. But also that's gay. He said, I told Carrie I'm stopping for a bit, but we'll still hang at the club. Cody is taking a month too. Now, you said, you go, I'll just drink tea and stuff.
I have been drinking tea.
I'll just drink
but
tea
I've also been drinking alcohol.
Dude, you're so funny. And literally, oh no, you said I got drunk last night. That was that day. But So the next day I was at O'Leaver's and Jay was there and I was like, oh, Cody inspired Blake to take a month off of drinking and I'm going to join him. And Jay goes, Cody was just your earlier drunk. And the next day I go to O'Leaver's and Blake's there with the beer.
I was there with the beer in front of me. You know, want to know the funnier part of it? I saw you coming in and you were, I think, talking to Mike Zimmerman outside, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
And I had a shot glass in front of me because I've been taking shots. And he's like, Gary, hide this.
Oh, my God. You're so stupid.
It's bad enough that I'm drinking. Ben can't know I'm taking shots, too.
Oh, my God.
Everybody wants me to take a break. My little sister is on my ass, but now she's starting to drink more.
It's just funny because just like all that series of text messages, it seems so urgent. It seems so sincere. And I was like, wow, Blake really means this.
You want to know the funny thing about that? I was drunk when I sent you those. When I sent you those, I was drunk and I went to the wall.
At least have some decency to hide one of your White Claws right now.
No, I'm trying to get sponsored. Not that kind of sponsor. I'm looking for an alcohol sponsor, not an Alcohol Anonymous sponsor. But when I sent you that message, I was on my way to Hy-Vee, and I was like, I'm done drinking. And so I bought some tea, and I came home, and
you so fucking bought tea.
I bought Sleepy Time tea.
Yeah.
I drank it, and I went to bed early, and I felt so good the next morning when I woke up, and then I worked all day, and I was like, God, I feel great today. And then sun was out, and I was like, what do you do when you feel great? You go to the bar and you have a drink.
You have a drink and you smoke cigarettes and you do. Yeah, I know it sucks because especially with Patreoners opening again, then we'll be out there every day.
I just love to.
What I wanted to say about yesterday though was I shot a handgun for the first time in my life.
It's because you're a bitch.
Well, I've never shot one before. I don't know. I really. Maybe I shot a handgun. I know I shot a rifle before. And then like BB guns.
What kind of gun? Oh, I saw it. It was like a fucking revolver though.
Yeah, it's like a 22.
Yeah, it's a bitch ass.
It's gun. Like small. But isn't your mom's calling you? Oh my God, your whole family. She's like, why aren't you over here for Easter? But yeah, it was pretty cool there. My aim got better after that video. I had so many people talk to me about how bad my gun aim is.
You're also shooting into a fucking creek.
I know.
What's the time we get you a real gun?
I kind of after that I was like, dude, handguns are pretty cool. Now I don't like a big like kill a bunch of people handgun. I just like one of those little revolvers is pretty cool.
Like a whole lot of kill a lot of people.
There's not a whole little of kill a lot of people.
I guess it depends how close they are together. But speaking of shooting a lot of people, I think we talked about this last week, and it just keeps happening again. Joe Biden's fucking the president, and fucking. Mass shootings are back, baby. We're back.
I thought you meant his dog. Like his dog, like
that one bites people.
Bit someone.
Do you think Joe Biden's actually alive?
That is a hard sell on me.
It's getting weirder and weirder.
No, he's like. Well, I mean, he's obviously not like.
I think it's CGI, dude. I watched fucking Kong versus Godzilla, and the shit they can do now.
I saw Little Nas X with the thing with like King Kong. He had like this big like hanging like censored dick on it. He like posted. That was pretty funny. I'd pay to see Little Nas X's OnlyFans.
Why? Oh, OnlyFans. That was a good segue because Ben knew exactly what we were getting into. How fucked up is America that the day that little Catch Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil, Bad Baby or whatever her name is.
That's who that is?
Yeah, she turned 18, made an OnlyFans, and in the first 6 hours, she made $1 million.
That's crazy. That is, I mean, like, well, it's not crazy, but it's like
it's pretty fucking crazy.
That's so many. I wonder what like the price was.
Did you pee? I feel like I hear my toilet running. Do you hear that in the background?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did.
Oh yeah, I pee sometimes. Shit.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
we'll just.
Oh no, you can. I mean,
should I go shut it off? You're gonna talk shit about me when I'm gone.
You can do whatever. Yeah. No, I was gonna elaborate on like OnlyFans because I was kind of thinking to myself like that. I keep on like deluding myself that like I want to like run for like public office or something, you know, like I want to.
Do you realize what this is 10 episodes in? Yeah. That means there's 10 hours of reasons that you cannot run for office, dude.
I know. And I'm like,
you have a cavity?
No, I think I just have something in my teeth. I've had it for.
Oh, you do? What is that? Because you just rubbed it and it got worse.
No, it's a piece of basil.
It's probably some cheeseburger you ate.
Oh my god, yeah, that I ate in like 1.5 minutes. No, I was like, maybe I could run for like city council, or I was like, maybe even like a state senator. And then I was thinking like, oh, you know what? I probably couldn't because yeah, a bunch of stuff documented of me like talking shit.
I would be the one who was like.
Who like exposed me as like me
just as a joke, and it would ruin your life, and then you'd probably kill yourself.
No, it ruined my political career. But then I was thinking, I was like, you know what? There's so much stuff out there that I definitely
there's a rule. You're not allowed to run for political office if it takes you 2 times to pronounce the word political.
Yeah. But I think like I was like, I wonder if people would actually. Because I very easily subscribed to a couple dudes that I knew who had OnlyFans, and I always like I'd seen like a picture or two of them before, but they don't like send nudes, and it was like, oh, I made an OnlyFans. They have like a boyfriend, or like, and I very quickly was like, oh, I'll pay $3 to like see this video. This dude,
that's all dudes
like,
are charging
off,
God, girls are charging. Like I've never subscribed to an OnlyFans before, but there's been a few that
like
I've
peeked at the page of,
yeah, and it's like $24.99 a month. It's like
Jesus so that's like a subscription price. Like I would do it for like $5 a month. And like if enough people did it, it'd be like, oh sweet, I like it, you could have some little extra money a month, but I don't know how many people would actually do it like for me, especially since like all the dudes with money are like probably older and like into like they're not into like other like I look like a fucking dad at this point, like an uncle. I don't know if
uncle. You look like an uncle because nobody's desperate enough to fuck you.
Oh, I was having like baby fever yesterday because my cousin has like this little like she's like a preemie, so she's like almost 1, but she's just like still so tiny, and like I'm just like, oh, this baby is so cute. It's like trying to stand,
Do you think you'll ever have a kid?
I've thought about it. But every single year, there's more reasons for me to not do it, and I'm already not a part of like the top echelon of society. Like I'm not like
I don't think you're in the top half.
You know what I mean? So it's like I don't. The only people who can afford to have kids are the ones who can afford to like put them through private school.
No, you can still have them. They're just going to be pieces of shit like us and be doing podcasts on Sundays.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to fucking plan out months that they have to stop drinking. And then one of them's going to not follow that month. And then he's going to die when he's like 38.
Yeah. One of them's going to catch a fucking STD that no one can cure.
We're fucked up.
I know. I was kind of thinking the other day, I was like, I am kind of like, this segues into another thing that happened this week. So a week ago, last week, I got really fucked up with a couple of my friends. We went out to the bar and we were there until bar closed, and I got on Uber to get us an Uber home because we had Uber down there. There were no rides available, and my phone was at 1%. And I was like, shit, what do I do? What do I do? Everyone else was like really drunk. So I called one of my friends. I don't know, like use people's names and everything. Not that it didn't really matter, but so our friend picks us up from the bar, drives us home. This is a week later. I'm en route to my family's farm. I'm already in the car with my mom for like an hour and a half with my mask off talking to her. I get a text from one of our friends. Text all four of us.
Fucking name.
Yeah, Brandon. And he's like, hey, you guys should go get tested because I just tested positive for COVID. And but the other 2 friends, they were negative who were in the car with me, so they went and got tested. I didn't get tested yet, like whoops. But they were all like talking back and forth about like, oh God, like the vaccine and I thought it was really ironic that like our friend who ended up getting COVID for many reasons, family reasons, and also like maybe some people in his life saying, like to be, careful and not go out, and like he just took like all these extra precautions to be like so careful like all the time, and like not see anyone, like basically locked himself inside his house for like an entire year, and like it's like, and all of us are like going to the bar. It's like hanging out as normal almost. And then he's like the one who gets it. And it's like right before like everyone gets their vaccines, you know? It was just kind of, I was like, Brandon, we should do an interview on our podcast because I know your rant about how like ironic this is would be like the fucking funniest thing.
We could probably call him tonight. During our first cigarette break, should we call him
and see if he wants to be patched in?
The way the first 15 minutes of this started reminds me of when we first started this, and you remember your one friend that was like, "Oh, the podcast's good, but you want to say serious stuff, but Blake just keeps interrupting with nonsense all the time." What is this podcast turned into? It's 15 minutes in, and we have not talked about anything of substance.
It's just basically that's well, I mean, you know, it's stuff that pertains to like other people's lives too. I just think that
tell that fucking nerd not to listen, dude.
That thing with COVID is like so funny to me. And so I remember they were all like having all these discussions back and forth, like all these texts. And I just texted. I said, what is it that keeps me from caring more about this? Like you guys all seem to like be like, oh, they're doing vaccines at the Girls Inc. Center, and you just have to get there at like 6 a.m. and wait in a line. And
it was that MAGA rally we went to a couple years ago.
It gave us immunity. That's when they passed up the vaccine.
That's kind of when we started to change.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's just this whole thing has been like I feel like some of my friends, I'm not going to say who, but I feel like some of my friends, my male friends, might have some people in their lives that have almost used this whole situation as like a means of it's like another form of like control in a way of being like, well, it's irresponsible for you to go out and, you know, get fucked up and do drugs with the boys, you know, so you need to be staying at home because it's responsible for you to be here at home and not seeing anyone and don't even go to restaurants and, you know, like, and we could hang out all the time, you know. I just think some of these situations.
I think we just need to get lit every fucking day.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it's working. Apparently, all the cigarettes I'm smoking have been keeping me from getting COVID.
What if you quit drinking alcohol this month and you get COVID? I'm just gonna be over here sipping my White Claw.
I mean, like, I almost think it's like I don't know. I'm like, what is it that I'm doing that's preventing me? Because like, there's been people at Alevers, you know, with like, and everyone's like, Ben, you might be asymptomatic, or you know, whatever.
Oh, fuck it. I haven't killed anybody yet because of COVID. I've killed people for other reasons. Let's get into some news because this is going haywire. What are we talking about first?
Well,
Gaetz. This is the weirdest. Oh, which one are we doing first?
No, I mean, if you want to go into Matt Gaetz,
I think that's where we should start. God, I hate that dude.
So, you know, if you hadn't heard, I'm sure everyone listening to this is coming to the news, but there's this bizarre story still kind of unfolding about Republican Representative Matt Gaetz,
who looks like a Batman fucking villain.
Who definitely looks like someone who would be bringing 17-year-olds around with them on the trail. Quick side note, it does kind of make me sad because I know that Matt Gaetz and like Ro Khanna like worked on a couple things together, and I know like Ro Khanna's come out and been like, yeah, me and Matt Gaetz are friends. And now it's like, oh great, like this one example of like kind of like bipartisanship, even though Matt Gaetz is like a total, you can find that example with like
anybody. There's always the one Democrat who has that one Republican friend that you wouldn't think that it happens.
Yeah, but like I know just for Ro, because I kind of think he's kind of cool, even though he's been evading this whole like he's just being a politician about like things like $15 minimum wage, all that, but just the fact that it's like this dude. But the story is so bizarre that it's so bizarre that it like seems like it's not believable. Like it seems like there's something nefarious, but then at the same time you're like, well, why would he go through all this stuff to make up a story that's so unbelievable?
Well,
you know,
there's another guy that's involved in it that was friends with Roger Stone, and there's a picture of them, and he's under investigation too from the FBI.
Yeah, I saw that dude who's basically like who came out with the allegations, because this guy Matt Gaetz names him in this Tucker interview, but this Tucker interview is so weird because did you watch this interview?
Yeah, I like the one part where he talks about the one girl that he brought to dinner.
Yeah, he's like,
Tucker calls and is like, I don't know what
I know. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, my
Tucker
dude.
Came out the next day and said that was
the weirdest interview
he's ever done.
Yeah, and I had it. It's at the end of this clip, but yeah, it's so crazy because he's like saying it's like, well, you know, I brought girls around with you too, and blah blah blah. And Tucker's like,
no, the fucked up part is he's like, we've both been accused.
Been through this thing. No, here, right here. I believe it's right here.
We're accused of something that
here
from the House Judiciary Committee. And I believe we are in an era of our politics now, Tucker, where people are smeared to try to take them out of the conversation. I'm not the only person on screen right now who's been falsely accused of a terrible sex act. You were accused of something that you did not do, and so you know what this feels like. You know the pain it can bring to your family, and you know how it just puts people on defense when you're accused of something so salacious and awful. But it did not happen. It is not true. And the fact that it is the basis of this attempt to extort my family tells a lot. And if the FBI and Department of Justice will release the tapes that they are in possession of, the American people will see what is really going on.
You just referred to a mentally ill viewer who accused me of a sex crime 20 years ago. And of course, it was.
Look at Matt Gaetz' face.
But I do agree with you that the.
So I just love how he's like, yeah, it was someone who's mentally ill who I'd never met though 20 years ago. I don't know why you're bringing this up. It is a very bizarre interview. But the story itself is really bizarre too. He's like, yeah, there's this guy who's he messaged my father and tried to extort $25 million.
The whole thing is there's been no charges pressed against him yet.
Yeah, no.
All that happened was the FBI released that they are doing an investigation into it. He's like way too far ahead on the whole thing. And there's also like, he's had like, I can't remember. I read about it a couple days ago. There's like 21 traffic violations, and like a lot of them were DUIs.
Really?
Like right, because his dad was also a real high up in Florida politics.
Wait, so Matt Gaetz said a bunch of DUIs? What do you mean? We can't just have a million DUIs. Eventually you don't have a license anymore.
There was 21 traffic violations that Florida, let's look up. And then one of them happened right before he was
a congressman?
And it just got dropped.
Like, oh my God. He does look like someone who would be like a partier, you know what I mean?
Matt Gaetz, 2008 DUI arrest resurfaces after jab at Hunter Biden's. Oh, so this was even before all this happened.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Arrested for, yeah. Oh, yeah, look at this mugshot.
But it's so crazy how it's like oh my God, he even has like a mugshot thing. Yeah. It's crazy. Look at this. And then, it's like I can still be like a congressperson.
Like my college roommate died because of me. Oh, what is that? My college roommate died because of me. I have DUIs. Daddy is rich. See my mugshot. Let's look at Matt Gaetz' college roommate.
I mean, we can. I can search it on here too if you want, but
look that up real quick.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I just think it's. Keep talking. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, his dad was something.
I know we're trying. Oh, that everyone thought.
I still want to see. I still want to see what happened.
Yeah, I think Snopes would probably be the best for as far as like what this is. Oh.
Suspicious, mostly false.
Had 7 DUIs. Yeah, maybe that's what you were thinking of, but
no, I think
mostly false.
It says mostly false. I think the DUIs part is fake, but I think the roommate part is the one that is the fake thing.
Oh,
so the 7 DUIs is real?
No, it says what's false. Claims of 7 DUIs and a suspicious college roommate death.
How many DUIs has he had then?
Let's see.
Because for sure one in 2008. That was the year that he got elected or whatever.
I mean, still has numerous DUIs, is wrong. And his dad got him off each time as part of a company. This is... hang on.
Well, which one? How many of them are true?
It seems like it's just that one. The 2008 case, it says. Weeks after the arrest, reportedly resigned that he against another DUI suspect soon after. No, okay. This is a thing with like other people. So I mean, at least one. Like whatever. But
yeah, we all drive drunk.
But still, I know. Yeah, I was gonna say can't fault the dude too much. But but as far as like he's like. It seems very specific with like, oh, it was a 17-year-old girl and like all this stuff. And then he's just like, I've never met this person. And
he came out the next day and he said it seemed like the most orchestrated interview he's ever done. Like everything that Matt Gaetz said was just like
off. Yeah. It seemed very exactly rehearsed. And yeah.
Also look at him. He looks like a cartoon character.
He does kind of look.
He looks like the principal from like a cartoon show.
he has a very distinct, like, kind of strange,
like a face you'd want to punch. Is there any? Let me close that.
On to our next story.
Where are we at time-wise?
Let's.
We don't want to get too big of one before, because we got 6 minutes before our first break.
Yeah, or we can just do it now and come back and do something else. We can. So there was. Here we can do this one that's kind of smaller.
Is that what guys say about your weenie?
So our
can't stand that.
Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, came out earlier this week and was talking about how, Biden was thinking of passing this, like, huge sweeping infrastructure bill, which when you hear Joe Biden talk about it, it's very...
Joe Biden's dead.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I've actually heard him talk about it.
It's a deep fake, dude.
But it sounds good. It sounds like, it's obviously stuff that we need. I'm sure there's a bunch of, like, stupid nefarious shit in the bill that doesn't make any sense. But I love, because Pete Buttigieg kind of came out and was, like, randomly, like, floating the... Someone was like, would you... or are you looking at, like, any sort of, like, mileage tax, for miles driven? And he was like, it's definitely something to consider and blah, blah, blah. But, like, from a dude who obviously, like, it's like... doesn't understand that, like, well, I'm sure he understands, but it's like a tax like that is so stupid because a majority of the people who need to drive to their job, it's because they can't afford to live downtown, like where they work or whatever. It's like working people who do that. And like all this stuff with infrastructure, it's like these roads, these huge companies like Amazon, who like pay nothing in taxes, are the ones who mostly use like these roads to like transport all of our shit all over the place, So it's kind of like, maybe they should be the ones like paying more tax for this kind of thing. But I love how
it's a fucking radical left idea.
Pete Buttigieg had to like walk this back though, because like they were so much criticism about it, and
I'm pretty sure he's used to walking backwards.
They had to book like some time on Jake Tapper to be like, and he's like, so are you here? I wonder if I could just play this thing.
I'm sure you can.
A lot of, you said tax showed, quote, lot of increase. You said also that a mileage tax showed, quote, a lot of promise as a way to help pay for the plan. That tax would charge people for how many miles they drive. Is that under consideration?
No, that's not part of the conversation about this infrastructure bill. So just want to make sure that's really clear. But you will be hearing a lot more details in the coming days.
Something tells me he doesn't really know, apparently, because like, a day before, that's like what he's like talking about. It's just so funny.
Why would Pete Buttigieg know about anything? This will be a good segue for when we come back in from our break. Did you see the video of the day that the Capitol car crash happened and no cars were allowed into Capitol Plaza or whatever, and Pete Buttigieg got out of his car or whatever with a bike and his dog? He put his dog like on his back.
I remember people talking about, I don't know, why was that? Is that
it was just funny. The guy that drives a bike up Capitol Plaza with a dog on his back, I don't think he should be in charge of transportation.
And here's our Secretary of Transportation, this weirdo.
The guy from the Wizard of Oz remake. She's riding in the cart with Toto. I don't think we're in Indiana anymore. All right, we're taking a break.
All right, see you soon. I wanted to get your rant about your family on the podcast.
It doesn't have to be fucking secretive. I'll say it on the thing. What better day to fucking give a rant about judgmental Catholic fucking drunks than fucking Easter? Fucking cocksuckers. And then I don't show up for Easter and I'm the fucking piece of shit. Anyway, are we back?
We are.
Fuck that.
Blake's mom and brother like blowing him up when he's on the podcast.
Because I don't go to Easter, where apparently all of them are fucking. But every other day, there's 9 of them. I've never been alive. I've been alive for 27 years. I've never been alive where more than 5 of my fucking mom's brothers and sisters talk to each other at the same time. Because all they do is fucking talk shit about each other behind their fucking backs, and then they fucking go to church and they expect it all goes away. Fuck them. I don't care. I didn't go to Easter. Fix the thing you put me in a bad mood.
And so Blake's mom's like, call me. And
then I called her, and she said, I'm going to have to call you back. Like, I'm fucking bothering her. Bitch, I'm recording a podcast. I'm doing something with my life. You're all sitting at fucking your brother's house, probably talking shit on whatever sister or brother's not fucking not there. I can't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, they're always giving you shit about drinking too much.
Oh, I'm the drunk of the family. Fuck off. Fuck off. Every one of them have fucking cheated on each other.
What do you mean? What?
Every one of I don't think my mom. Who knows though? Fucking, they all cheat on each other and then act like they're fucking. They judge my sister for fucking dating a black dude.
What do you mean cheat on each other? Like
well, I mean,
their
like
wives
cheat on their wives. Yeah,
I was like, what
cheat on each other. I mean, if you ever, they're all fucks. They're all fucks.
Yeah, I mean, God, that's why I wouldn't get married. I don't know.
You better just be happy you weren't born into my family as a gay guy.
Why?
My family would never accept you. They just accepted my sister, who's straight, having a kid with a black dude. Like, all right. So this mother, I hope this might be a podcast we don't release, but maybe it will. I won't say fucking names. This motherfucker, one of my uncles, wouldn't come to one of my mom's I can't remember the exact, I want to say 4th of July party, because my sister's, it was their boyfriend at that time, was black. So this fucking, God, I cannot stand him. This piece of shit, God. Fucking, he married so my grandma was also on the same page as him. Like don't marry outside of your race, or Catholic, whatever.
We're Catholic.
This piece of shit marries, and I have nothing against it, but he marries a lady directly from Mexico. Barely even speaks English. And my grandma fucking loves her. And this motherfucker thinks he's like the patriarch of the family. He tries to he calls, it was one of the shows I played. He came to Oliver's. Oh yeah, that motherfucker.
Oh my God, Blake's. Okay, so
don't say anything.
I don't know his name. Blake. Okay, our band, me and Blake used to be in a band together. We played at Oliver's one time, and Blake's fucking family comes, and your mom's brother comes, your uncle, and this dude was.
It wasn't our band that played.
It was Fifi Nono's show.
No, it wasn't. It was a Digital Leather show. You were there.
Oh, I was just there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was something like that.
Yeah.
So Blake is like nervous to play or whatever, and didn't want to deal with this family at all. I did not want his family there. Of course they show up, but then that dude showed up, and that was the show. There were these two gay guys at the show besides me, and they were both so annoying, and one of them was really old and creepy. Do you remember that dude? And he kept on hitting on your uncle. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and then my uncle, instead of just ignoring him, was like, "I'm gonna beat this guy's ass."
He's gonna beat his guy's ass. But honestly, I wish he would have, because those guys were so annoying. I was like, "Oh my God, they're giving gay people bad name." I almost got in a fight that night with that guy. I almost
got in a fight that night too. That one guy that was being weird to my mom.
No, it's the same dude. There was two. Those were the two dudes.
No,
those were the two dudes.
That other guy.
There's the one that
was hitting on my mom wasn't gay, and he came up to me a week after that happened and apologized. He was fucked up. So I have nothing against that guy.
That guy was being an asshole to me, and then also, but yeah, when your uncle drove away and he was like, "Fucking faggots," blah blah blah, and I was like, "Holy shit, Blake's uncle's crazy."
So that's why I didn't go to Easter this
year.
He
was huge, had these huge muscles. He looked like he could fucking kill someone with his
Probably would. Probably black people and gays.
Oh my God.
Let's get into it. I don't want to talk about my family anymore. And my little sister listens to this podcast, and she's probably going to go tell my mom.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting, though. It's okay, well, it's obviously not outside of your race thing. It's obviously he just doesn't like black people. You know, that's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy.
Well, I mean, he probably. I don't know. He's come around now. He's last Memorial Day he smoked weed with my black brother-in-law, and apparently that was the
bonding moment or something.
Oh yeah, he solved all. race relations in America. He thought, because he thinks everything he does is fucking. He's God's gift to Earth. I'm done talking about it. Can we talk about something else? God, I don't like talking about that shit. That's why I didn't go to Easter today, and somehow Ben is still making me talk about it.
Because you were talking about your mom and how she's acting like your father. I love my mom. Yeah, I love your mom too. Well, your mom. I was gonna say, I was like, your mom likes me. What do you mean if I was gay in your family? You mean your uncle would have hated me and probably kicked my ass?
Yeah, but I mean, my all right. So my immediate family is way different than all of the other people in my family. Like people used to like. I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm glad I kind of got like a pretty like, even though my cousins on.
I'll say this: my sister's wedding at La Sole Mio that you played guitar at, my uncle wasn't there.
Yeah, so it was after that he kind of came around. You know,
around.
Now that he decided, well, it's like, oh, he's
this motherfucker wants to be the Tony Soprano of our fucking family, and if anybody is going to be the fucking Tony Soprano of this family, it's fucking me
for sure.
I'm about to start fucking like I want to get into some fucking rackets.
What's crazy is like, you know, my family is like overall like I feel like they're pretty cool and level-headed. Like even my cousins who live out on the farm and are like very like Trumpy and like, you know, aren't going to take the COVID vaccine, like all that kind of shit, you know, like, but it's almost like sometimes I think about how people would think that they are ignorant.
They lump them into people. Like my parents were Trump supporters, but my parents fucking love you, and they love my black brother-in-law.
But also, like even though those like, you know, educated liberal people would think that my extended family are like stupid and like ill-informed and don't know what they're talking about, they're almost like more informed with politics and have like more like grounded opinions on things and question things that like these people would never question, which is actually nice segue.
Well, before we get into your segue, because I can't remember if we talked about this last week, but no, we did talk about it last week because you went into your Asian rant type thing. In New York, there was that dude that knocked out that Filipino grandma.
Yeah.
How mad was everybody? How soon when that came out to the news did CNN post about it? And then when they found out that it was an African American that hit her,
it's like no one talks about it anymore.
They dropped it because there's nothing there that they can. Well, just like on CNN,
they can make it be like a white supremacy issue.
Pull up CNN right now. They don't talk anything about what happened of that car crashing into the Capitol thing because it came out that guy's. He had friends. Well, he was a part of the. What was it? The
I don't know anything.
Brother of Islam or whatever.
Oh, like the Nation of Islam.
Yeah,
like
Nation of Islam.
Like the Islamic Brotherhood or like
it's like
the black
it's
Islamic
So that came out that he was a follower of that, but he also obviously they said had mental issues. He played football in college and all of his teammates said that like
he was like fucked up.
Yeah, they could start seeing the release. But once they heard that like it was
someone who wasn't a white dude,
CNN stopped talking about it, and guess who picked it up?
Fox News. And now it's made into like now it's like the only people who report in Fox News, and almost like because it was a black guy.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
And if it was a white terrorist, Fox News would stop talking about it, and then CNN would pick it back up.
It's fucking weird. It's almost like and it's almost like all this stuff is given this like really purposeful slant on purpose. It's just like to fucking make people go at each other's throats like this, you know? It can't just be like a person did this and it was bad, you know? It always had to be for some like nefarious reason. And if it's a white dude, it's always white supremacy. And if it's not, then it's like, you know, and I'm not saying that like I'm not saying that that it's not white supremacy either, you know, but it's like as soon as like shit comes out that it's like painted like that on when it's like on like CNN or something.
Yeah,
know?
Exactly. Like it's like if they do the crime, like the guy that did the massage parlors in Atlanta, I don't think it was strictly Asian, or I don't think it was strictly him being sexually like deviant. I think there was a little white supremacy in that. Oh, and then also what happened in DC, I don't think that like
It was like just because of like a traumatic brain injury thing. Like maybe he was motivated with some politically thing, you know? And so
we live in a world now with the internet where you can get online and you can find anything that backs up any of your, I mean, I talked to my mom about this because she'll get into this conspiracy shit. And I'm like, this is the reason, like the easiest way you can say it with like it not meaning a lot is if I believed that it was a flat earth, I could find enough evidence online that would make me think it's a flat earth. But then you take it further, you think that there's a fucking child sex ring underneath a pizza place in Washington, D.C., you can find the information that will make you want to grab a gun and go shoot it up.
Exactly.
And what it's doing is like this book here, Franklin Cover-Up, they can write off. Like there is there's giant
actual shit happening.
But it gets written off because there's fucking crazy people that are QAnoning and fucking, I don't even know, I'm making that a term now, QAnoning. That's what I call fucking idiots that are white. Now, if we wanted to make a name for idiots that were white, we would just call it Circle and Square Podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just fucking, it makes, it takes away other shit that's happening.
Yeah, like real things that do happen, and it makes everything seem like, it makes anything that isn't like fitting into like a cookie cutter, like everything is perfect world, seem like it's like some sort of conspiracy, you know, like some higher level conspiracy. It's like, oh, how could things be orchestrated at such a level? And it's like, well, there's proof that stuff like that does happen. I mean, and then, you know, you look at like Jeffrey Epstein, and people even think like the Jeffrey Epstein thing's a conspiracy or something. And it's like something that's like obviously real, you know?
People that say like, you couldn't get that many people to lie. You don't have to get that many people to lie.
You just don't have to know.
Yeah, that many people just don't have to know.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not a 9/11 truther, but people's excuse to why it didn't happen is you couldn't make that many people lie about it. I don't believe that it was an inside job, but if it was an inside job, it's not that you have to make that many people lie. You just have to keep that many people in the dark.
Yeah.
There only has to be a certain amount of people that know what happened.
I mean, well, and not to go down a 9/11 rabbit hole, but 9/11, it's not like it was an inside job per se. It's like it was orchestrated by our government.
I think it was kind of I think it was a little like click and bait.
I think it's a little, everyone was kind of in cahoots a little bit. I think there's definitely so many things that are suspicious about 9/11 that like will never be questioned. They were at one point, and it's almost like enough times passed where no one has to question shit anymore. It's like, how were the passports of the hijackers just like magically found like from inside the plane, like outside of the building,
perfect condition?
How like the dude who owned the World Trade Centers took like a huge insurance policy out on him like 3 days before the fucking attacks happened.
The morning that it happened, they were doing terrorist attack drills
with NORAD.
Yeah.
So they like didn't think it was actually a thing. It just happened to be that day. They were doing hijacking drills. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It'd be stupid if you didn't
question it, right? And so that's why 9/11 pisses me off, because like people like not treat me like I'm crazy, but like I just always will bring that up, and people just act like they're like, oh, Ben's talking about 9/11 again. It's like, well, why doesn't anyone talk about it? It's like, because we can't do anything about it.
All the way back to like Roman times of, I think we talked about this on the podcast before, and I'm going to fuck up the name of it, like agent provocateurs.
I don't remember.
Where people are not hired, but like
to kind of be crazy in the other direction to make everything look.
Oops! God damn! I keep hitting that. So then so you can write off all the other people.
Yeah, that believe that the same thing exactly. Well, it's like planning like, you know, like false protesters and shit just to, like stir shit up, you know, and make everything seem insane. Yeah, I mean, and you know, our media is complicit in all this stuff too. Our media is complicit in like.
I don't think it's the media's complicit. I think the media wants it because that's why people watch.
Well, I think the media just functions as a propaganda arm of our government. It's not like they're all just looking for access and like getting the next job. It's not actually about like doing journalism or like figuring things out. It's about like having good graces with like the powers that be, which is like not what the media is supposed to be. It's crazy how it's turned into that. But related to that. The former CDC director under Donald Trump, yes, he worked for Trump, but he was also working for a country, yada yada, came out, gave an interview with Sanjay Gupta, and Sanjay basically asked him, like, you know, according to like the science and like everything that you know, like what do you think? Actually, we can play the little bit of it here. It's probably interesting to see. We're gonna be playing CNN. I feel bad like just playing their shit.
Yes, this virus started transmitting somewhere in September, October in Wuhan.
September, October.
That's my own view. It's an only opinion. I'm allowed to have opinions now. I am of the point of view that I still think the most likely etiology of this pathogen in Wuhan was from a laboratory, escaped. Other people don't believe that. That's fine. Science will eventually figure it out. It's not unusual for respiratory pathogens that are being worked on in a laboratory to infect a laboratory worker.
It is also not unusual
let's keep
for that
going
type
with this a
of
little bit, though.
research to be occurring in Wuhan. The city is a widely known center for viral studies in China, including the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which has experimented extensively with bat coronaviruses. It is a remarkable conversation I feel like we're having here, because you are the former CDC director and you were the director at the time this was all happening. For the first time, the former CDC director is stating publicly that he believes this pandemic started months earlier than we knew, and that it originated not at a wet market, but inside a lab in China. These are two significant things to say, Dr. Redfield.
That's not implying any intentionality. It's my opinion. All right, but I am a virologist. I have spent my life in virology. I do not believe this.
All right, so which one was it? Was it Brett Weinstein? He was a virologist.
He went on Rising and was
he was on Rogan when he originally came out. And he's a virologist, and he said that they've never seen something that he said right at the beginning of the pandemic that what he learned like all through school and all of his years in it was that it came from a fucking lab. Yeah. It just doesn't, because it doesn't jump species to species. I
did just watch Brett Weinstein was just on Rising today. They posted the video, but he was because they were talking about how the CDC director said this, and Brett was talking about how he'd been talking about it for a long time, but just because it's right in my head of what he was saying. He was saying that they can see that like the genetic code of it was like spliced, like how they do it's not something that would like occur naturally and that fast, and that it was that listen to the last thing that the CDC director says.
Somehow came from a bat to a human, and at that moment in time, the virus that came to the human became one of the most infectious viruses that we know in humanity for human-to-human transmission. Normally, when a pathogen goes from a zoonotic to human, it takes a while for it to figure out how to become more and more efficient in human-to-human transmission. I just don't think this makes biological sense.
So that's basically what Brett Weinstein was saying, and that you could basically see like where they sequence things. I mean, they can tell it's not like a natural thing, right? Like that's like what all the evidence points to. It's just like so ironic that like if you had this view at the beginning, because in the beginning no one knows what the truth is, so everyone's just kind of asking questions. But if you even asked this question, people were all up your ass about it, and acting like you were fucking insane and like you were some right-wing nut.
What's
I said this from the beginning too. Like I agreed with this. I've never thought it was just some natural fucking. You know what I mean?
It's like everybody on Jeopardy right now is all on Dr. Oz's ass because he said that hydrochloroquine was
hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, it was a actual like way to treat it, and now it's come out that it is actually like a productive way to treat COVID.
But do you remember how many fucking articles did CNN and New York Times and the Washington Post write? Acting like Trump was a fucking idiot and insane, and they did so many fucking articles about hydroxychloroquine. Like I can't even. But
it was snake oil.
Exactly that they were saying it like doesn't do anything, and it actually might make it worse, and like all this crazy shit. When there were scientists and doctors coming out and being like, "This is the most effective thing. This is what we're giving patients because if they get it, they're not going to die if we're like, well, this is as like a preventive measure, I should say. So it's kind of like when it prevents against malaria. If you take it when you go over like Vietnam or something.
A comedian, Brian Collin, got COVID, and he's been on Joe Rogan and all those podcasts, and he said when he first went to the doctor after he got COVID, the doctor asked what his political views were, and he was like, "What does that? What does that mean?
Have to do with?"
Yeah, and he was like, "Well,
hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, it's been shown that it gives good results." And he's like, "Well, just give me
the thing that works. Like, why do we have to talk about that's some crazy shit. Like politics just getting in the way of like."
And if Trump would have never backed that, would it have ever been that way?
Yeah, if Trump would have never backed it, would they have actually gone? They just wanted to like make Trump look like an idiot, and all he was doing is repeating.
Didn't need help.
I know.
He didn't need help.
But all he was doing was repeating stuff that the people that were close to him, who were the head of these agencies, are saying. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, the Trump administration appointed him. It's like these people aren't just like appointed out of nothing. It's like they're all it exists in this thing. It's like all the same fucking people, every administration, whatever. Like. That thing with hydroxychloroquine made me mad though, because I had friends telling me about how Trump's so stupid, this drug doesn't work, it makes everything worse, blah blah blah. And I'm like, where's everyone like fucking like hearing this? And like, how do you know? It's like everyone's a fucking scientist now. It's like COVID happened, like everyone's a virologist, everyone's an expert, and I'm not. I'm just like looking at what like actual scientists are saying, and not what articles on fucking CNN and the New York Times are saying. I don't know why people are so brainwashed into like thinking that this stuff is unbiased journalism. It's crazy.
Well, it's the same way though on the right though. Like my parents acting like masks don't do anything. It's like, well, I mean,
that's how my cousins on the farm are.
They probably don't. The masks don't fucking solve all of it, but I mean,
it can't make it worse.
Yeah, it does not make it worse.
And that's what I wish, because my aunt Cheryl was just telling me, she's like, well, that they actually said that mask will make you more sick because then you're
breathing in your own air.
You can't be exposed to the stuff out. And I was like, okay, but it's preventing other people from getting sick. It's like it's a barrier. It's not rocket science. It's like, okay, if I put a barrier between me and the bad thing, I'm less likely to see the bad thing, or you know what I mean? Like it's just it just makes sense. Like I don't know. It's just crazy.
We're living in weird times.
Yeah, people are just so like just crazy about it. But did you see that also the new CDC director went on with Tony Fauci? Is she alive?
Oh, which one too?
That's a new CDC director, but she went on to like.
I like how, when Trump was in charge, there would never be
a
sign language person.
They're inclusive, But I remember she was just like talking like she was just. It just reads as fear mongering to me. It's like, okay, we have the virus, we're almost like back to normal. No one wants to fucking watch the news anymore, so they have to do shit like.
Oh, I've seen
so much promise and potential of where we are, and so much reason for hope. But right now, I'm scared. I know what it's like as a physician to stand in that patient room, gowned, gloved, masked, shielded, and to be the last person.
She sounds like a politician.
She sounds like Dan or like fucking George Carlin, the way he had his things just
ready to go. Like it's very rehearsed. She sounds like a politician.
What's the death rate?
The death rate is going down, I'm sure.
Like when you're the physician, when you're the healthcare provider, and you're worried that you don't have the resources to take care of the patients in front of you. I know that feeling of nausea when you read the crisis
lady.
Director, that as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter.
She sounds like Kamala Harris.
To ask you to just please hold on a little while longer. I so badly want to be done. I know you all so badly want to be done.
Dude, okay, I've been done for forever, and it's like yeah, sure. Like the death rate is definitely going down. It's fine.
Well, the death rate was never even that high, was it?
It's just like now there's all these articles coming out. It's like CDC director, almost in tears, comes on and lets everyone know gives a dire warning, of like, I don't know.
Even if it is as bad as when it first started, it's still not that bad. I'm sorry. It's still not that bad.
Maybe it's because we live in Nebraska, but it's
even you look at the death rate in New York, the amount of people, until Cuomo kind of fucked it up by putting a bunch of infected people in an old folks home.
Yeah,
that probably drove it up a little bit.
It also came out this week with something with Cuomo too. It came out that not only did he do all that stupid shit, but then like when his brother Chris Cuomo got COVID, they hid all these records that they sent people out to Chris's house to like give him like a test, like before when everyone was trying to get a test in the entire state, like he got a test, and then he had a police escort. They had like a
Does Chris Cuomo live in New York?
Yeah. No,
because
yeah, no, he lives.
CNN's in Atlanta.
No. Chris Cuomo lives in New York. And
Andrew Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo is the governor of New York.
Yeah.
Chris Cuomo lives in New York.
He lives in New York.
But they've been doing shit out of the. Well, this was when he was quarantined in his house, right?
In his basement, and somebody caught him riding a bike out,
and out in the thing got mad at him, his neighbor. They're like, "Dude, you have COVID right now." No, but Andrew Cuomo sent, and when they took his results back, they had like a police escort, like and he got him done like the same day. He got like just like all the special treatment just because his brother is the governor. It's just like so all that stuff came out as like. I don't know. Andrew Cuomo it just fucking sucks. But of course he did that though. I mean, I can't. Of course that happened. My last story that I had. We could do this, or we could riff on some shit. What do you want to do? Just talk a little bit.
What time are we at on this podcast?
We are at 55.
Ooh, we've already made it. It's because you have that fucking 5 minutes of me ranting about my fucking family.
Because I had some shit pulled up. Well, no, and it's fun too. I just want to go like back to back articles. The last thing that I found of note this week that I thought was really interesting was this is also like a CNN article, so it makes me. Well, just because it's critical of the military-industrial complex, it makes me think that like, oh wow, actual crazy shit is going on, or of course this happens or whatever, but. Just an article about how Joe Biden wants to get out of Afghanistan, which I'm sure he does personally. I know that our military-industrial complex does not want to get out of war ever. They profit off of war. They love being at war with things. Everyone's been trying to get out of Afghanistan for years, and it's never happened. And Biden seems to think we're not. He's like, I don't see any reason why we would have any troops there in 2022. This article talks about how since our government has so many deals like in advance with these like arms producers and weapons producers that basically like our government would get sued by all these manufacturers if we like pulled out of the war. So it's just like of course like America's set up a way to like our government would go under lawsuit by a bunch of companies.
It's very like Sopranos-y.
It's almost like the mob, It's just like it's like
there's going to be punishment.
Exactly. Like if you withdraw, if you stop war, you know what I mean, and we can't sell you weapons anymore for absurd costs and like just waste all this money, then we're gonna sue you for it. I mean, it's just crazy. Pentagon could open itself to costly litigation from contractors if U.S. pulls out of Afghanistan this year. So what is this?
God, how does this read to you? Invested in war.
What?
We should have invested in war.
Instead of
fucking
stocks,
cryptocurrency.
Yeah. I still don't know if I should like pump like a lot more money into Bitcoin. Do you think it's going to go up a lot more?
What's it at right now?
I don't know, but it seems like it's just going to keep like I don't know, rocketing. It's probably tiered at 60-ish. I feel like it has been for the past while. It does look like it went up a little bit. 57.7.
Well, it's been teetering about 60. So I mean, you put in 1,000, you could probably make some money.
Yeah, I have like how much money do I have in it right now? Well, I think I've put in about 2,200, but I'm at 3,400 right now. Damn. Because it's gone.
What app do you use? You use Robinhood?
I use Robinhood.
I don't fuck with Robinhood,
dude. I know. I've been trying to get out of it. I don't have any open options contracts, though. I should switch out now that I have the chance.
I'm a Coinbase boy because I'm just investing in.
Just in crypto?
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
Touching that stock stuff, my options contracts and stuff like that. Well, hope it works out,
I hope it works out for you too. Oh, you know what I hope works out for me today? That fucking parlay, baby. Check that.
Oh, yeah. So Blake has not been...
Don't tell him I'm a sports gambler.
Blake was telling me about how sports gambling works, like not the way where you wait. It's looking good.
All right.
Blake needs to win like 6 games or something, and then you win like $600.
The Warriors have got to just cover by 1. Oh, it's looking good there. I need the Hurricanes. Hockey, they're winning 1-0. Where are the Pelicans at? Oh, they're winning by 10. It's looking good.
That's crazy.
I need the Warriors to pull off. And you know what's gonna be? We might replace our background.
Yeah. Hey, if Blake gets this,
there's gonna be a Sopranos background because I know I talk about the Sopranos a lot on this podcast.
Then he's gonna put his money where his mouth is this time.
Oh God, it looks good. The Warriors and Hawks. Come on, baby. That's the only one I'm really worried about right now. Come on, Hurricanes. What was the other one?
I don't know. I don't even know what any of these teams are, Blake. I don't know. Is this
Warriors,
basketball?
Hurricanes,
Is this baseball?
and Pelicans. What were the Pelicans up?
You said 1? I don't know. I don't fucking know.
The Pelicans are up 10. Come on, baby.
Any parting words for our viewers?
Mom, I'm sorry for talking bad about your family.
Sorry, I'm talking bad about my family too. But overall, my family's pretty cool. My uncle let me shoot his gun.
I got to figure out what I'm doing for dinner tonight.
My cousin made a lot of smoked meat. He did turkey, duck, and chicken.
That's called a turducken.
Turducken.
That's supposed to be for Thanksgiving.
No, it was very Thanksgiving. I keep on thinking it's Thanksgiving, actually. I don't even know. I say Easter and Thanksgiving are the same thing to me. Anyway, follow us, please. We need more followers on Instagram and Twitter because, I guess I should tweet stuff, maybe. We should, dude, I'll give you the login to the Twitter.
I want the login to the Instagram.
We can go well, both of them are the same thing. It's the same password that you gave me.
Why don't you just give it online? Why don't you just say it right now?
I said it's the same password you gave me.
Wait, what password?
You told me what the password should be, and that's what I made it.
I can't remember that. You probably asked me when I was drunk.
At Circle Square Pod on Instagram and Twitter. I want to give Blake the Twitter so we can just both bomb it with outlandish shit. Circle and Square Podcast at gmail.com if you want to write to us, suggest anything we should talk about. We might be
going live.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing a live stream thing. I don't think anyone would watch. Maybe we should get some more viewers before we do that, more listeners, but it would be cool if maybe 7 p.m. on Sundays if we actually just did a live stream on YouTube instead. It'd be great. Dude, I've been wanting to see it, so please say that you will join the live stream so Blake show me his penis, and that would be, I don't know, pretty cool.
Anyway, this has been the 10th episode.
Yeah, hey, that kind of calls for celebration.
That's 70 days, isn't it?
Maybe I should drink something. 70 days,
isn't that?
What do you mean? Oh yeah, as far as a week. Yeah. I mean, we just do one a week.
Well, yeah, but it's been going for 70 days.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? A little over 2 months. Yeah, 2.5 months. It's
only been 2 months.
2.5 months. It's 4 episodes a month.
It makes me more disappointed than what it actually is.
Yeah, because it would only be 52 a year.
53.
Maybe 52.
There's 53 weeks in a year. Google it.
There's 52 weeks in a year.
There's 53 weeks in a year.
No, that's incorrect.
How many weeks in a year?
This is why I don't drink, Blake. Because I don't want to become 52.1. Closer to 52, isn't it?
We're gonna round it up to 53.
That's because that's sometimes when there's an extra day.
I add the comedy, you add the facts. That's all I care about. Thank you for listening to episode 10 of the Circle and the Square.
Bye.